Mariners win 11-2, improved to 2-4 on the season. This one was satisfying. There are some victories that are just a little more satisfying than others. And this one was really satisfying after how poorly they had played in those last four games. Let's talk about how it happened real quick because there's actually a lot to get through. Julio Rodriguez once again with a double, just on a tear. Love to see it. Scores on a wild pitch to give him a 1-0 lead. And then in the fourth inning, Teoscar Hernandez absolutely destroys a baseball over the center field wall to make it 2-0. They get another run on an RBI ground out from AJ Pollock. Not the last time we'll be talking about his name either. And in the fifth, that man again, Teoscar Hernandez, clobbers a 3-run homer to left center field, scores Julio, scores Ty France, makes it 6-0. Then AJ Pollock connects on a 2-run homer to make it 8-0. Cal Raleigh singles in a run in the seventh to make it 9-0. And Pollock drives in his third and fourth RBI of the game. Wow, I didn't even realize that. What a game. I may be wrong. He might actually have had 5 RBI tonight. Am I looking at that? 5 RBI from AJ Pollock tonight. Love to see it. That made it 11-0. Paul Sewald does allow a couple of runs in the eighth in a absolutely meaningless appearance just to get him some work to make it 11-2. But this was a dominating effort from start to finish. If it's possible for an 11-2 game to not be as close as the score indicates, there you go. Man, really impressive and so nice to see after the struggles, like we said from the start. And speaking of starts, Luis Castillo, exceptional again. Wasn't quite as dominant as he was against the Guardians, but 5 2/3 innings, has yet to allow an earned run in either of his 2 starts. Does walk 2, issues to 6 strikes, 59 of 99 pitches for strikes. Not horrible, but not exactly elite, but the stuff was so good. And what I like to see too was there were a couple nasty changes tonight. He's mostly been fastball slider with some changes here and there, but he has really been slider heavy since joining the Mariners. This was a guy a couple of years ago who had one of the best changeups in baseball. It wasn't good for him last year, but man, if it can be good for him this year and if just the fastball slider combo that he already has, I am not regretting picking this dude for my Cy Young after 2 starts. I am not regretting it at all. Brash gives up a hit, but only has to go 1/3 of an inning because the game went as out of hand. Trevor Gott did fine. Gabe Spire has really impressed me in his outings. Like, I think he is a guy you have to consider carrying, even when guys like Casey Sadler look like they're going to be ready. I'm having a hard time dropping Spire based on what I've seen, and I do think it's nice to have that left-hander in a bullpen. Ultimately, it's about who can get lefties outs, and none of the Mariners relievers have like insane splits that suggest that they can't do it. But having that lefty is so nice. It is nice to actually have somebody for that 1/3 of an inning thing. If you have to get somebody out, and it can change how a team manages because they know that lefty is ready. Spire certainly, I think, can get right-handers out as well. So, he's not just a loogie guy, obviously, but that's really nice to have. Let's talk about the top of this lineup because it was so good tonight. Julio with a couple of doubles. I think he already has 4. Yep, 4 on the season. France with a double. Raleigh with a double. The homer, I'm sure, is coming. But Teoscar Hernandez, this was a nice reminder, folks. I got a lot of messages that were reactionary. And look, me calling anything reactionary doing what I'm doing is a little bit pot calling the kettle. But I never worried about Hernandez. My worries about this team have nothing to do with guys like Teoscar Hernandez. It's about the bottom of the lineup, which actually wasn't very good again today, 1 for 12. But Teoscar Hernandez has a large sample of being a really good baseball player. And before you go, well, so did Jesse Winker. Jesse Winker didn't want to be here and was hurt. And most importantly, didn't want to be here. Flat out. Would have rather played anywhere else, basically, than Seattle. That's just the nature of the thing. He did not get to control where he went. Said some nice things about the electric factory, blah, 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 blah. He didn't want to be here. And I don't blame him for not wanting to be here. He's got a daughter, and he was, He wanted to be in the Midwest. He's in the Midwest now. I bet he has a great year as long as he never, ever has to play in the field. One of the worst outfielders I've ever seen. And we'll never talk about Jesse Winker ever again. But Hernandez has a long history of being a really good offensive player, a frustrating player because his approach at the plate is so lacking, and he's not a great defensive player, makes some silly mistakes. But there's a reason why Seattle wanted this guy. It's because he kills the baseball. He's always hit for hard contact. He has plenty of power. I think his average will be fine. Yeah, he got off to a horrific start, but he should have 2 to 3 homers now. But he does have 2. He should actually probably have 3 or 4, actually. Drove in plenty of runs today. That's just a product of hitting behind Julio and Ty France. The first 5 hitters in this lineup are really good, especially if Ty France can stay healthy, who he's looked great offensively. I will point out he's had a couple of defensive plays that have been a little frustrating, but it's tough to complain about 360, 385, 600 to begin the year. But yeah, Teoscar Hernandez can hit, and I loved seeing Pollock drive the baseball today. Yeah, the second homer he hit today was a cookie cutter, like 20 grade slider from a not very good Jaime Barrea today. Neither pitcher for the Angels was good for them. Jose Suarez is just the definition of a fifth or for them sixth starter. Nothing really to be too concerned about when you're facing that guy. A type of guy that you have a guy like AJ Pollock for. And it was great to see him drive the baseball and have some success tonight. And he just missed a home run. That must have been either Sunday or Monday. Who knows? All of those losses kind of blend together for me now. This is a great win. A great win because not only do you get the W, but you show the ceiling of this team. You show when everything is clicking how good this baseball team can be. Questions about the floor? Questions about the floor for sure. But the bottom of the lineup is not going to be something I'm going to chirp on, whatever the hell I was trying to say there. It's 11:09 p.m. and I just worked an 8-hour shift. This was a great time. This was a fun baseball game. And this is why you trade for Luis Castillo, by the way, because this is what you want your ace to do. You want your ace to be that guy who ends those 3 or 4 game losing streaks and reminds you that everything's going to be okay. And again, I wasn't panicking. This is just one win. Just the same as those were just 4 losses. This is just one win. But it's a nice reminder of how good this team can be. A nice reminder when they kind of needed a reminder. And it's a big win, too, in this sense, because tomorrow Ohtani's pitching. And that's a tough one. So Ohtani pitching with daytime shadows. Not a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun. And Chris Flexen, who, has had success, no question about it. But if you're going to give me which starter do you want to go for this game? I think I'd probably take Ohtani. That's what you sign up for, is analysis like that I would rather have Shohei Ohtani pitching than Chris Flexen. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Such a good win. Such an impressive win. Can argue whether it's big or not. I don't really give a crap if you agree with me on if it's big or not. Who cares? I loved it. That's all that matters. You probably loved it too. That's what matters actually the most. So if anybody tells you, oh, it's just one game, or if you have those idiots who try to say, oh, look what you were panicking for. Nobody was panicking. Not a person was panicking about this stuff. They were upset because the good baseball team was playing badly. You're not cool because you think all of a sudden that we were silly for pointing out that. Hate people like that. And I hate that a bunch of them are in the frickin' media because it makes us look stupid. I'm talking to one particular in person, and please don't call me at 6 a.m. to come on your show because that's not happening. Feelings probably mutual. But it's so insane to me that that we can't enjoy wins just as much as we can be sad about losses. I didn't think I would get yelly in this one. I was so happy. Then I thought about how some people are going to react. Teoscar Hernandez, man, those two balls were just absolutely shellacked, and I love to see it. I love to see it, and I loved the joy on his face because, let's be honest, he was not very good over those first 5 games. Did have that long double on Sunday's game that probably would have gone out of the park, like I said, but a lot of bad at bats. And tonight it was a great reminder that when that dude makes contact, there are very few baseball players who hit it harder. Extremely encouraged by the top of the lineup. And it was great to see Hernandez get some results tonight and process better too. Did have a strikeout. I'll take it. Really good win. Fun. You excited? You nervous about tomorrow with Ohtani pitching? I'm a little nervous about tomorrow with Ohtani pitching, but they got the W. You've avoided at least a 1-6 start if Shohei Ohtani does shove tomorrow. That's great. That's great. Now you got to worry about winning some series, but it is very nice to be reminded of just how good this team can be when it's playing at its best, and they played at their best tonight. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell me how much you enjoyed this victory. I love you all. Bye-bye.